Hi Snapchatters, welcome back for part 2 of my story, and I'm going to actually be taking you through some of my old schools and what happened there and the effects of what happened on the playground and what sort of things affected me on the playground and in the classroom. This is stuff that I wasn't really aware of until actually I become more intelligent in this area in my life. There's a lot of events and things that happen in our life earlier on that get embedded into our subconscious, and actually we hold on to these for a long time. So Loddon Primary School, was where, it's two sides of school, a nursery and like an introductory school. Well, it was very bright. Obviously we're not going to get access, it's the weekend, so it would be really good to speak to some old teachers and see what I was like as a kid, but let's just have a little snoop around and see what we can see. So I'm effectively trespassing to try and get you to an area that's important for this story. But I've realised my excuse is I'm looking for a Pokemon if I get. This is probably the closest I'm going to get you to the my foundational school playground, where all the kids would innocently be playing kiss chase, and I'd be actually running away from girls. I don't know what it was that used to piss them off, or maybe it was I was just the awkward kind of kid. But yeah, I used to get bullied. I used to get bullied at a young age. And I tell the story on my workshops, and the story goes I'd actually come home with bruises all over my shins. It was that bad. It was pretty serious to the extent my parents actually go into school and sort of. So although the bullying kind of stopped at that point, it left me with kind of a limited belief of girls don't like me. It doesn't matter what people are telling you at home or your family or friends. This was my. And being at a young age, that belief was very difficult to shift because that's my emotional intelligence really hadn't developed at that point yet. So again, times change. A lot's changed. School's been freshened up. Here used to be two little bungalows. One used to be my classroom here. The stories I tell also is that when I was late for a maths class, and I was just too busy playing around in the playground, I was late, and the punishment was you have to sit on the table full of instead of the table full of your friends. Now, at that age, we weren't really interacting with girls, and I still had this belief of, the last time I had interaction with girls. All I can remember from this lesson is just, coming back with a very negative outlook, and I've been bullied, and I took a lot of things to heart, but just these name calling and taunts these girls would give. And again, being a young guy, these things stay with you. That's I truly believe girls didn't like me. The next school I went on to was an all-boys school. Playgrounds changed a lot. This whole thing used to just be one big playground. They've obviously added new parking in there. Used to be made up of football, wrestling. I remember getting in trouble for. And I wasn't the cool kid at school. I didn't really fit in, to be honest. There was one kind of kid that was always kind of cool, and everyone used to hang around with him. One thing I can recall is that I was never really a sheep. A lot of kids, they act like the sheep to be part of the cool crowd. I was never part of the cool crowd at this foundational level. In fact, it got to a stage, I remember, whilst doing this, is I actually got taken out of lunchtimes. I was like one of the only kids that could go home at lunchtime to have lunch because I just couldn't really socialize. So here's one as well. So this school had a swimming pool, as well as the one I'm going to show you next, hopefully if we've got a bit of time. And if looks don't matter. A lot of shit I get is, oh, you're tall, you're a good-looking guy, it's easy for you. It's not fucking easy for me. I had my own insecurities, and I'll tell you about them. So we've talked about number one. Number one, my insecurity was girls don't like me because of the experiences I was having in the classroom and on the playground at an early age. Now within the swimming pool, what I came to realize when I was comparing body parts, I guess, it was that I had a very abnormal looking chest. It's called pectus excavatus. It's where the sternum actually goes in and your chest goes in. It affects one in like a million people. I'll show you what this looks like. Like this. Maybe you can't see it from full on, but side on, maybe you can. You see. So as you can imagine, I realized I was different. I was different, and I didn't like getting changed in front of people. I thought it would add to the name calling. There you go. That's two of my limited beliefs of girls don't like me, and I'm different. My body's different. At the end of the day, your insecurities will show, so you need to handle them. More on this as well. It's got to the extent where I wouldn't even want to take my top off at the beach. Going on the beach would be my worst nightmare because it'd be I have to show myself. Again, I'd like to emphasize, I'm telling this story so you get to know more about me and you understand the shit that I went through and what I had to overcome to get where I am today. So what do you think? Do looks matter? I think being well-groomed does. Looks, we got to make the best of what we've got. But, I've been with some amazing women, and no woman has ever really been concerned about my chest. However, as I said earlier, if it was a big problem for me, then it'd be a big problem for them. It's the elephant in the room. Great, I'm at the Forest School. This was my secondary school. It was an all-boys school. So again, the belief stayed with me. I'm rubbish with women. I haven't got an opportunity. Really fun school. I had a lot of fun here. You may have spotted it in the news where these kids brought their father's erection pills in. Don't get me started on that. But yeah, had to make some really good friends. Got a little surprise for us. I've been in touch with an old wingman of mine, and he's going to tell you a few things in a moment. But I just want to talk you through this moment. So remember, this is an all-boys school. There's no girls to kind of get over that belief of girls don't like me. So that stayed with me. What I will say did improve is how I actually was socially. It was like my second chance to kind of get better at this kind of thing. How I were in the playground. I wasn't really a high flyer at school, you know, but I wasn't really too mischievous either. I kind of knew how to get away with things. What I do want to share with you is how I acted and behaved in the playground. Now, I didn't really belong to one niche group like the Grebos, the music heads, the football, the geeks, the people who are at the bottom of the field, you know, maybe smoking a little cheeky cigarette or a cheeky spliff. I kind of made up my break times, was actually going round and interacting with the key influencer of each group, which is something I teach on my workshops and a lot of club promoters. Go round, I would speak to the Grebos, the sporty kids, the geeks, the naughty kids, and you know, I just that would be my break time, just socializing with all of them. And it's like once you have influence over the key influential person, you have influence over the whole group. So actually, I wasn't really aware that I was doing this. I was just kind of doing it, and it really. One thing that actually happened was, you know, it came to age of 16, 15, 16, and you don't really go out, you don't know where everybody to go. So I organised hall parties and invited all the key people. And our year group was considered to be very tight compared to other years because of that. We did an event that brought everyone together, and I've done consistently a few of these events. At the end of these events, I'd often have like soft drinks left over because everyone drank the alcohol and soft drinks left over. I'd bring them to school, do my usual route, and I'd make a. It was actually said that we actually put the tuck shop out of business. Now, the person I want to introduce you to right now is a good old friend of mine that I actually employed to help me with. Okay, guys, I wanted to introduce you to my old wingman, Ray, who I've known since you know, we were at Forest together, and he was a guy who was helping me out with his op. So effectively what we did, we kind of built a social base at school, and unknowingly, you know, we really capitalized on that when we brought in the sweets and the coke, and yeah, we made some good money. It was actually both pretty much gutted when we were gutted when it was the last day of school, you know.
We actually sent the tuck shop skint, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. The tuck shop actually went bust. We were responsible for. And I actually saw in the news there were a lot more people doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
like maybe
there was one the other day, wasn't there? I think like Manchester, like a few months ago, some people was doing it.
Yeah. Something else I want to talk about is, you know, me and Ray have been friends for a very long time, and he knew me when I was shit, to be fair, and he also knew me when I got better. And you know, when I got better, was getting better, I was actually keeping that kind of information to myself. But then I got to a stage where I had hit a ceiling, what I could actually do, and I needed to actually share this information with other people. So, Ray, I want to kind of speak about that moment when we had that call, when we met up that time when we kind of spoke again.
Yeah, it was a good night.
Yeah.
It was a funny night, wasn't it?
But how was, you know, you saw me when I was shit, and then, you know, I was like, look, Ray, let's meet up, let's talk, and then we went out. Like, what was the most significant thing that stood out for you?
Just a massive change. I couldn't believe it, really.
Yeah. So what happened that night?
Just completely different person. All of a sudden, like, we went out for a drink, and then 2 hours later, we're in the back of the taxi with two girls.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Another thing I want to share with the people that are following this is, on my workshops, I actually share like a little method Ray shared with me when he was going out. Ray was really getting busy with this kind of stuff. He had a bit of a unique problem on his hands, and you know, he was going to these hotels and having a drink with these people. And this is gold, by the way.
Gold.
You literally say to the waiter, you pull them over and go, just by curiosity, you know, how much is it for a room here tonight? And of course, you know, the seed has been planted, then you can go and have a drink somewhere else. And, you know, you're going to go, oh, that's not bad, is it? But then later on, you bring it up again, you go, you know what, it'd be really crazy.
Yeah, and then I used to say, oh, it'd be great, like, I've never done it before, it'd be so different, like, so crazy, let's do it.
And he's there every night.
Yeah, it used to mess me up a bit when they'd say your usual room, Mr. O'Neill.
Ray has always been a man that likes the finer things, nice watches, cars, bikes now. Let me show you. I mean, it's lovely. Absolutely lovely. And, you know, he's always like had a nice Range Rover before, kind of influenced me to get myself one. A little bit about that, because a lot of guys think, oh, I need this expensive shit to get the girl. When should they see that?
well, normally with the cars and the bikes and that, it's normally like on the first or second date, because you're not going to tell them what you've got on a night out or a car, or however you meet them. You don't tell them about what car you drive.
Because you attract the wrong. Some great tips, man. It's been great catching up. Yeah. Now we're gonna leave Snapchat because we need a well-deserved drink. So bye, and see you soon. Ray, just catching up with Ray just then. I'm really glad that I got to introduce you to him and just show you around my school. The train station was not too far from school, literally like a walking distance. You know, whilst kids were running for the train to go to the nearest all-girls school, I was not interested in doing that at all.
Hi guys, hope you enjoyed the story today. Join me tomorrow for part